Welcome back to the next day of the Wudang Way tutorial videos. This week going over the horse stance, still going through it. 2 more videos of doing some different kind of exercises and drills to build off what we did in the last video with the how-to and our basic punching drill. So hopefully you've done that, you've kind of experienced some of the punching, you've experienced this like low body structure, keeping the weight in the legs. And if you're a little bit tired, that's really good. Today we're going to be working through different variations of mabu. There are a lot of different styles of doing it, like we've mentioned, between different lineages and kung fu schools, but also just within the movement themselves, because we have this freedom of mobility in the waist released from the lower posture, we can also have different ways we can move the body. This is some of the postures that we're going to use when we get into the Qigong, some of the different animal sets that we have. Bagua uses this a lot. Lots of different forms that we do in the Wudang San Feng set are going to use mabu in different ways. So I kind of want to take a chance to explain some of those variations. So the first thing is a build off of what we did in the last video. In the last video we went over our basic mabu punching drill, okay? And I mentioned that when you're doing these drills, you've got your lower body locked down into a deep posture to where your waist here is now free to move. So we kind of talked about this right and left rotation, just a 1/4 degree change where we can free the waist up and the back and the spine are more flexible and mobile, okay? But one of the other things that we also have is we also have side to side variations from the hip. We can actually bend to the side. We say that this is soukwa. So we have like a locking or sucking in the hip, okay? So to do that, what we're gonna do is we're just gonna come back down into our horse stance. Hopefully this is your new home already. And now that we have this side-to-side free waist, we're going to go just a little bit deeper into the hips, and we have this movement that starts from here. Okay, so we have this adage that we talk about in Taiji all the time, where all of our movement and our form comes from our dantian, it comes from our core, the center of our body, the center of gravity if we're standing in a mabu. Okay, so what you want to imagine is when you're doing these movements, that your movement literally starts from the waist. You don't really want to whip the hand and then later twist the waist, right? You want to lead from here as if the waist all the way to the shoulder translated into the hand is one piece. Okay, and to get that, one of the ways that we can practice is, again, sink down into mabu, and we're going to actually try to keep the back straight, the neck solid with the back, and we're going to tilt to the side. Okay, and from here, one of the things to be careful of is not to tilt from the ribs and have this kind of bending angle. What we actually want to do is imagine the hips, the waist, and the shoulders are straight 3 pieces. And when we tilt, we can put our hands in front, sink down into our mabu, back straight, and we can drop the body sideways, okay? To where we're actually going to rest the back of the shoulder on the knee, okay? And when we do this, we keep this knee open from caving in. So when you fall to the side, okay, we don't want to have the knee kind of fall in like this. We want to make sure we keep this open and keep the body down to where we're closing all the space between the side and the thigh, between the upper leg, okay? This should be a little bit challenging because we want to be able to lock the hips in place to where you're not really aiming for the shoulder to the knee like this. What you're aiming for is the hip to the leg. Then you're aiming for the ribs to the leg. Then you're aiming for the armpit inside the leg, not behind, and then the shoulder hits naturally. And this becomes more of like a resting position. This is open. We'll have this in some Qigong sets. We'll have this in different forms, different movements. So what we can do to train it is we can just hold the hands in front and we can just crunch down, trying to keep the body straight. You can use your arms as like a level and just kind of tilt to the side, press down. And come back up, tilt down, and lift up. Okay? We can do this exercise, kind of learning how to turn off this muscle and release the mobility. And then the same, we can close and have an empty breath, relax back down, and rest. Hopefully now you understand the different rotations you can do. You can twist side to side. You can also tilt literally side to side. There are a few other variations that we'll do when we get into some of the form training, especially when you start using the mabu and twisting the waist to focus on a certain direction. So typically, to reiterate, if we have a forward-facing mabu, the weight distribution will be 50-50. Okay, so we're going to have the legs right across, forward-facing, and doing punching drills, doing standing meditation, doing different exercises like this within and without the form. When we start shifting our attention by twisting our head to the side, we end up going into what we call 60-40 stance. And 60-40 stance is exactly what it sounds like. If this is 50-50 forward facing, 60-40 becomes a small increase of weight on one leg, which is going to be your back leg, and your body rotating to face your forward, which has 40% weight. So this will be used for different postures. You have dragon, you've got tiger, you got these on both sides as well. And we have lots of different variations of the 60-40 stance, but it's still a mabu. So sometimes we'll use that to go back and forth, especially between movements. If we twist the body and do punching drills on these sides, we're going to twist a little, sink a little, lean a little. Okay? So that's going to give you a 60-40 stance. That's going to be the different variations that we have with mabu. Hopefully all those different horse stances are clear. Remember, you've got forward and back twisting, you've got side to side tilting, and you've got some 60-40 weight distribution changes. So that's a different way to go over it. Kind of keep that in your back pocket for going forward into some of the new postures and forms that we do. So tune back in for the next video, and we're going to keep continuing one more day with mabu, and you can persevere through this and have a complete practice to go over. We'll see you next time. Thank you for watching this video. Be sure to hit subscribe, check out all the information underneath. There you can navigate to the Ways of Wudang Patreon account. And by becoming a Patreon, you can get access to all the main channel resources around martial arts, Taoist philosophy, even Chinese music, and group classes, live streams, one-on-one courses, and a bunch of other stuff as well. So I hope you'll go check that out, and I hope to see you there. Once more, thank you for all your support. We'll see you in the next video.